Hey folks, welcome back to Respawn Rant. I'm Lucas Everett, and I'll be your guide for today. If you're just joining us, last time we went off on Call of Duty Black Ops 7 and how nostalgia and co-op can kind of duke it out for the soul of a franchise. But today, shifting gears a bit, let's talk Assassin's Creed. And not just any Creed, but Mirage and this new free DLC that honestly blindsided me in a good way. Ubisoft just dropped Valley of Memory, which takes us deep into AlUla's desert, pile on the gameplay tweaks, and a story that, I think, finally gives Basim some real emotional weight. It's not just more side content, this one actually feels important. Let's wander into the valley and break down why this expansion could mean way more for Assassin's Creed than you'd think. So picture this. You start the Valley of Memory expansion and suddenly you're dumped into AlUla, a legit desert valley tucked up in northwestern Arabia. Not just extra sand and rocks either. Ubisoft went all in with the details. You've got ruins, these massive carved tombs, and old caravan routes that double as traversal puzzles. It's like, hang on, am I in a history podcast now? But I love it. Ikma Mountains covered in real ancient inscriptions you can read in-game. Hegra, which, I always mess up the pronunciation, Madain Salih, I think, is full of tombs carved into, like these majestic sandstone cliffs. And those aren't just pretty set dressing, they're built as stealth arenas, true to Mirage's roots. What's super interesting, and I guess maybe this does tie into my weird hobby of collecting developer zines, is how Ubisoft Bordeaux actually worked with Saudi Arabia's heritage folks, sort of a digital preservation side quest. It's like that old Assassin's Creed DNA, making you feel like you're wandering through a living museum, not just a theme park. Honestly, I wish more open-world games tried to fuse archaeology with actual gameplay, instead of just slapping in collectibles. Blending story, place, and those emergent moments, man, that's the good stuff. Okay, let's get into the juicy bits. What actually changes when you play? First, shout out to whoever lobbied for manual jump. That's one of those finally features, a proper parkour move that feels way overdue. If you ever got frustrated trying to hop a gap and just didn't, you know exactly what I mean. Then there's Black Box Mission Replay, which is like, for stealth nerds, this is where you flex, trying every infiltration route, every weird gadget combo. Reinforces that old school Assassin's Creed feeling where it's all about how, not just what you do. They also dropped a new stealth toolkit. Gadgets are trickier, enemy AI is meaner, so you actually gotta think before leaping from haystack to haystack. The main questline's got 3 arcs: House of Memories, Tracks in the Desert, and Wares and Shadows, with contracts, lore-filled collectibles, and gear hidden all over AlUla. It's beefy for a free update, like 6-8 hours of content if you poke into everything. The whole thing just feels tighter, like they took the feedback on Mirage's stealth and said, let's double down on what works. And they did. Let's talk story, because this is where Valley of Memory really surprised me. The hook isn't just another conspiracy or hidden artifact. The whole thing is spun around Basim's past. Rumors his father might still be alive. It's not all high-stakes political plotting, it's, I don't know, raw? Themes jump out around memory, family, what it means to inherit a history that might not even feel like yours. The antagonists aren't some faceless cult either. It's actually gangs moving in on AlUla, threatening to erase its history for profit. If you think about it, that's kind of meta. They're literally trying to steal the past, and Basim ends up fighting to preserve it. Not just for the creed, but for his own sense of self. I admit, I've always been a sucker for games that nail personal storytelling, and this one, yeah, it hits different. Actually makes you care about the dude behind the hood, you know? Okay, brief detour. Let's vibe about the music for a sec. Brendan Angelides is back as composer, and he's leaning hard into the regional soundscape. Oud, Qanun, frame drums. It's this blend that sits somewhere between historical reenactment and just straight-up cinematic. I can't play a sample here, licensing nightmare, I know, but imagine those low strings echoing through a tomb while Basim's fists clench around half-remembered lullabies. You get this sense that memory, good or bad, is everywhere, right down to the soundtrack. The music does more than fill the background. It's like the connective tissue for every theme running through the DLC. Alright, if you're a numbers person, here's the lowdown. Patch sizes are, yeah, chunky. like 22, almost 23 gigs on PS5, less on last gen, but still, make space on your drive. It's out on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, only the main ones for now. But here's what gets me. It's free. Ubisoft could have sold this and nobody would have blinked, but instead they dropped a 6-hour, full-fat expansion for $0. I mean, is it old-school goodwill, or just a stealthy new monetization model? Pun absolutely intended. Industry folks are saying this might be Ubisoft pivoting, putting partnerships and player trust first, over just milking the microtransactions. And you can see the ripple. Fan reaction's been super positive. People are loving the emotional depth, the historical detail, and especially being able to replay stealth missions. Replay value, check. Authenticity, check. I remember in our last Call of Duty episode, we got into how player trust gets chipped away by bad design choices. Here, it almost feels like the opposite, like they're rebuilding it. So looping it back, Value of Memory takes the Mirage formula and instead of just piling on side missions or more shiny gear, uses history, the real, lived-in stuff, and Basim's personal stakes to anchor everything. The gameplay upgrades aren't just quality of life, but actually make you want to explore. Narrative isn't just flavor text, it's the heart. And with Ubisoft sticking to free DLC and these cultural collabs, I gotta wonder, are we in for more globe-trotting, unexpected expansions? I'd love to know what y'all think. If you've stepped into AlUla, did you find a favorite spot or side story? Shoot me your best memory, good or bad, on socials or the site. That's all for this week. Next time on Respawn Rant, who knows where we'll end up? Maybe another desert. Maybe the bottom of a buggy multiplayer map. See you then.